Over the past year, we've all been affected by COVID in one way or another. Virtual learning is something that I've had to overcome, and I'm sure many other students have had to overcome due to COVID, as that is the only reason I'm taking virtual learning over like a traditional online or a traditional in-person class. Today, I'm here to inform the audience of Communication 110 of the advantages and the disadvantages of virtual learning. I'll discuss how virtual learning can help students with things such as a flexible schedule, like the ability to work around your work schedule or whatever things you may have to do, like being a parent or just whatever else you have. It also helps with the ability to work at your own pace, whether you are a quicker learner or you may need to slow it down to learn things at a slower pace just to help yourself. And virtual learning is perfect because it's literally at your own pace. Online learning has some disadvantages though, such as the lack of face-to-face communication with a teacher or other students, and the potential to have technical issues or delayed feedback from a teacher. Virtual learning is an effective way to learn, but it has its advantages and its disadvantages. Now on to my main points. My first main point is how virtual learning can help students in need of a flexible schedule due to work or whatever they have may going on in their life. There are many people who attend school and may have things going on in life that could get in the way of school, such as being a parent, going to work, or not having the proper transportation to get to school. Virtual learning can help almost anybody who is busy, as it is something you can work on anytime you want instead of having to go to class at a certain time of day. And you don't have to set aside a whole day to work on something. You can work on anytime you're off of work or have any free time. In an article I found on straighterline.com, which was published on September 16th, 2020 by Beth Dumbald, she stated, "One of the great benefits of getting an online degree is you can still work full-time and manage to earn a degree in your off hours. If you work non-traditional hours, you don't have to lose sleep, arrange for childcare, or waste time commuting to physical classrooms." That was my first main point that I just discussed of how virtual learning can help those in need of a flexible schedule. Now on to my second main point. My second main point is how online learning can help a student work at their own pace. Normally in class you have to follow along with the whole class, but with virtual learning you can work at your own pace, whether it be quicker or a slower pace. This also means that students may be better at the course. This means that students who are better at the course can work ahead and not waste time by learning stuff that they already know, or just being slow on the parts that they are really good at, so they can just skip that and work on things that they need to learn. In an article that was published by Sunil Gupta on November 11th, 2017 on elearningindustry.com, he said, "This indicates that the time required to learn is reduced 25 to 60% of what is required in traditional learning." This is a really good point because this just shows how much more efficient a student can be if they're learning things that they don't need to learn. They can just skip that and move on to things that are more valuable to them that they need to learn. In another article by Nikos Andriotis on talentlms.com, which was published on August 22nd, 2018, he stated, "The benefit of e-learning is so that you can learn at your own pace, according to your own learning needs. That means that people aren't put under unnecessary pressure or painted with the one-size-fits-all training brush." And I think this is a really good point, as not everybody is the same. So some people may work faster, some people may work slower. So virtual learning really just helps you work at your own speed for however you may seem fit to learn, whichever is best for you. My third main point is the disadvantages of virtual learning, such as the lack of face-to-face communication or the possible technical issues and delayed response from a teacher or delayed feedback. The lack of face-to-face communication is a big problem, as the teacher is there to teach, and without that interaction, it may be hard for a student to fully take in all the information that he needs, or if he has a question, he can't just raise his hand, ask the teacher. He's going to have to email the teacher and wait for a reply back, which may take a long time. A lack of any kind of face-to-face communication with the instructor inhibits students' feedback, causes social isolation, and could cause students to feel a lack of pressure. This was a great example by Sandra Tom in the article published by estudent.org in December of 2019. Technical issues are almost inevitable when it comes to learning online. Things such as network and internet issues or glitches in the system you're working in will happen to everybody. These are things that happen to a majority of online learners. Another problem would be the limited feedback and engagement from the teacher while learning. Kelly Creighton said in an article published by HRDailyAdvisor.com on June 25th of 2018, learners aren't always able to ask their trainers in-the-moment questions and receive instant answers to help them better understand the learning content in front of them, that is a good example because that's kind of what I was just saying about how a student can't just raise his hand and get the information he needs, and it may just be a hassle to deal with. I just discussed my third main point of how virtual learning has its disadvantages of the lack of face-to-face communication and the potential of technical issues or delayed feedback. I just discussed how virtual learning is an effective way to learn, but it also has its disadvantages. In conclusion, virtual learning can help students in many ways, such as a flexible schedule, the ability to work at your own pace. It also has its disadvantages, such as the lack of face-to-face communication and the potential of technical issues or delayed feedback from a teacher.